Hey guys, we're with Kyle, and what do you have for us today?
I have a salad deck profile for you all.
Yeah, so I want to show off what Kyle's been doing for the new format on his channel, and give you guys a proper introduction to like what Kyle's going to be doing over here. I think that Kyle's been, my top resource when it comes to Salamangreat on the channel for the last 2 years, and I think it's like well timed that he like shows his knowledge off for the community because I think you know I don't trust anybody else more on Sal than this man. So with that being said, yeah. So like, what kind of things are you gonna have on the channel before we get into the deck profile?
So the channel is going to consist of modern deck profiles, Master Duel gameplay, tier lists for like sideboard cards, extra deck cards, and main deck cards that you could play, both in Salad and like generically, and then eventually like ban list discussions, top tens, yada yada, all that.
Awesome. Yeah. No, and I don't think there's like a resource like that on YouTube, so it's gonna be a very useful thing with Salad being one of the better decks nowadays. So, and especially into this new format. So, with that being said, what do you got cooking for this new format?
All right, so unfortunately, I don't have like all the cards that I would like to have, but that's a financial issue that everyone's going to be struggling with as of recently. Like Perulias are going up, Fuelos is going to stay like so much. So like, yeah, this deck doesn't have those cards in it, but this deck can still compete.
Oh yeah. So, how many cards in the main deck?
That's a good question. So let's just get into it. Unfortunately, I legitimately do not know.
That was such a. He was like, I am not answering that. We are not. Like, you guys can just count. You
don't
should have
know.
said that. You should have been like, you guys should count.
I
And
legitimately
then
never
someone
know.
else recognized that.
Just,
I was
I
just like,
every single
what the
time,
fuck?
every single time Chris asks me like, how many
Damn it,
cards are you
Kyle.
playing? I'm just like, so I'm playing this.
All right, 40 something in the main.
Yeah,
God
something.
damn it, Kyle.
I think it's 40. I think it's 45.
God
Alright.
damn it, Kyle.
So we're on 2 Lady Debug and 1 Salamangreat Fire. Lady Debug's a great searcher. Searches any salad name, and it can also search other generic cards that are in this deck. And Salad of Fire's really good normal summon. It's searchable off Circle and Mining, and you can summon it off Mirage Stalio. It locks you into fires, but by the time you integrate it into your combo, that lock doesn't matter. You'd be summoning fire monsters only anyways. And we got 3 Salamangreat Gazelle. This card is great. You can proc it from like link summoning, pitching with cards like Forbidden Droplet, popping your own monsters with stuff like Princess, and it will summon itself, and then on summon sends any Salamangreat card except a copy of itself from the deck to the grave. Great extender, great starter, great recovery tool. And yeah, this card has always been insane. And now you got one of the best compliments to Gazelle, Triple Spinny. Actually a good normal summon because it can become a Link too. If you send it off Gazelle, that just converts that either into a Link 3 or Mirage Stalio. This card is just a great extender overall. 1 Foxy, 1 Jaguar, 1 Weasel, and 1 Falco. Foxy at 1 is mainly in here because at multiple copies I was finding issues with seeing too many. Jaguar is great because it can recycle your Link monsters, it can recycle also your main deck monsters if you need to, and 1800 piercing isn't bad. Foxy popping Fatal Speller Traps is pretty good with like Deception being everywhere, along with like Tenpai Field Spell, all that jazz. Weasel, great extender. It gives your opponent monster, which can like mess up cards like Cashier Fenrir, Evenly Matched, Infinite Impermanence, Lightning Storm, all that stuff. And it draws you a card. It's also level 3. And Falco is mainly in here for the tech, because sometimes you need a bounce, and the bounce is pretty good. Or if you need to reset a spell or trap, that can also be really nice. Now we got 1 Flame Buffalo and 1 Coat of Soul. Coat of Soul and Flame Buffalo are going to basically... they don't serve the same purpose, but they can be put onto the field with the same card. Flame Buffalo, if it leaves the field, discard a Cyberse, draw 2. Good for a 1-of. And Coat of Soul, you can spec it if you have a link on your field, gives you an extra reincarnation, and during the opponent's turn, you can banish it from the grave to link summon. You'll see why that's relevant later on. Hand Trap Package, triple Ash Blossom, and double Effect Veiler. You can replace these with Fululos and Perulia if you'd like.
Did you run Impulse?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wait, you do. Oh yeah, I
No, it's fine.
I jumped the shark.
It's fine. It's a hand trap, and we may as well just throw Infinite Impermanence in there as well. Yeah, this is the hand trap lineup. Triple Imperm, insanely good. Triple Ash, really good. Double Veiler, could be Fululos. Double Impulse, should be 3. And yeah, I really like Imperm and Veiler. Good for stopping the opponent from either extending or starting their play. Ash Blossom is always going to be great for Salad because you can recycle it with Sunlight Wolf. And Dominus Impulse has been really, really nice in my testing and playing. I really like this card. The stopping summons is like crucial. Now on to the spells. Triple Signet Mining. This is mainly to search out like Lady Debug. There are some times where you open Lady Debug and Signet Mining. So you would go Lady Debug, search out something like Salamangreat Spinny if you have nothing else, or Salamangreat Foxy if you have another name. And then you can use mining with your newfound target to get to Gazelle, which will just proc it immediately and then put it on the field. So that's always good.
You don't miss having the Salad of Fire as a target or something like that?
Lady Debug is the primary normal summon for the deck because Debug into Coat of Soul with any way to get to Gazelle is full combo. And Signet Mining can represent getting at least 1 or more of those cards. Okay. 1 Sanctuary, searchable off Balix, helps you reincarnate. You're not going to use the damage calc effect because you're not playing Code Talkers, but hey, it might come up and that would be hilarious. Triple Salamangreat Circle. Searcher that you can use in the draw phase to play around Droll. And giving your reincarnated monster protection from monster effects, except its own, for the rest of the turn is actually pretty good protection. Although there are some times where you would want to have like spell and trap immunity, but we'll take what we can get. Pretty good against like Promethean Princess or Ambla Whale or Mirror Jade or SP. Any Flamberge, any of the monsters that are just like actual problems. And then the revival cards, Charge and Will. Will, really good one. You can revive any salad from the grave or summon from hand. Bringing back Link monsters is crazy, and then using the second effect to bring back like upwards of 2 to 4 monsters is just so much advantage that your opponent is probably just going to lose from there. And Salamangreat Charge, I've actually really, really fell in love with this card now that I've played it more and more. Being able to recycle your banished fire monsters is great because you can recycle banished Balinxes. You can recycle Promethean Princess that's been banished. Same thing with like Jack Jaguar and Raging Phoenix. And the pop effect doesn't come up as much as I'd like, but I'm still glad it's there because it means it's a good set. So if you like find a way to send Falco after using it to maybe revive it, then yeah, that's nice. Triple Forbidden Droplet. This is Sally's best card for board breaking. It not only sets up your entire graveyard, but it can also proc your Gazelle. It's also really good for protection against cards like Desiree in the Fiendsmith matchup. Since they have to target the monsters on your field, getting rid of them in order to put them into the graveyard might actually be better than having your salad monsters on the field. And yeah, dodging Imperm is nice. Dodging Veiler, if they have a monster, that's cool. Using this in the damage step against the Tenpai players is like really, really nice because it ensures that you'll be able to survive in that battle. Salad has a terrible problem where the only real thing that your opponent can threaten you with is lethal damage to life points, because they're probably not going to be able to set up a board after you have went first that is comparable enough to stop you from playing on your now third turn.
Yeah.
So getting rid of Salad players' life points is like better than getting rid of their cards, because their cards are just inherently sticky. So just get around them and just take the opponent out, or just deprive them of all of their resources. Like cards like Soul Release come to mind because people are starting to put it in their decks again for some weird reason. I don't know. It's whatever. That card like shifts in and out. That card's been playable since TOS format, so I've always had it on my mind. So like, yeah, Forbidden Droplet is really, really nice. And being able to pitch RAR or any of your archetypal traps to reset them or add them back to hand with Sunlight Wolf is also really, really nice. Shout out Triple Crossout Designator. I know it's not fantastic because I don't have a lot of the good cards you'd want to use for Crossout Designator, but I think Ash and Nibiru and Imperm and Valor and Dominus Impulse are fine by themselves. A funny thing you can do is you can use Crossout Designator to banish one of your Salad monsters, like Falco, and then you can like put it back into your graveyard by summoning it to your field to charge. It's not as good as like, Crossout Designator, banish Poplar, next turn, normal summon Oak, target Poplar. Like, obviously that's not going to happen, but this card is still really nice. I'd highly suggest playing it for Salad because this deck struggles to deal with specific hand traps like Nibiru and Dimension Shifter. And it's essentially like the same premise as like Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is fine. There are times where I want to cut this card from my deck and just put it in my sideboard for the rest of the entire set when I'm playing, because this card's been nothing but an inconvenience at some points, but the other times, this card's been, like, fantastic. And then playing around more hand traps, Triple Tactics Talents.
How do you like the 2 of ratio?
Talents is fine at 2. I really like it. I never want to draw this card, but I always want to see it. Being able to draw 2 cards after you get like Valored on something like Mirage Stalio is really nice because you could draw like a way into an extender or something. Or if your opponent has drolled you, you can just like look at their hand and get rid of stuff and know if you have to scoop. Or if your opponent is like on something like Snake Eyes, what you can do is once they res with their Promethean Princess, they can choose to proc the Raging Phoenix in their graveyard to bring it back. And at which point you can activate Triple Tactics Talent to either steal the Promethean Princess to res a fire from your graveyard and continue playing. Or
that's actually disgusting, yeah.
Or you just steal their Raging Phoenix, activate Sanctuary, and just reincarnate it for free. So you still have one more in your extra deck. Which is, like, hilarious. I did that at a YCS.
It's like Branded stealing, like, a Mirror Jade or a Dissipator. It's just so much.
It's like activating Mind Control on SP and then using it and a monster on your field to link into an SP. And then the last 2 cards, Rar and Rage. If you want to put Rage in your sideboard, you can. I prefer to have it in the main deck because it's still a good option, even though it, like, technically is worse because having conditional removal for your monsters is, like, way worse than having a card that can just stop all of the cards that interact with it. But if Rage resolves, this card is fantastic. Nuke for 4 is, like, great. Like, that's better coverage than Desiree, which is pretty good in this format. Obviously, destruction removal isn't the best removal, but when it's mass destruction removal, it tends to be pretty good. Omni Negates are always going to be great.
Helps with the, like, U-Balance, just, like, a lot of these decks generate so much advantage. I can still see why you run the pop, because I've seen, like, people cut it, but, like, when you have, like, both the Omni Negate plus the pop plus, like, hand traps, like, that board's essentially unbreakable.
And speaking of the Yubel matchup, Unfortunately, Rage isn't even that great in that matchup.
Really?
Salad already beats the Yubel engine naturally through Sanctuary lowering your monster to 0 and Circle making your monster unaffected by monster effects. So they can't use Loving Defender. Phantom of Yubel is okay to deal with. It's not the absolute worst. But the real kicker is the Unchained cards. Since they all float on Destruction, you don't want to use Rage to go into them. You would rather, like, bounce their monsters with Mirage Dally or banish them with SP Little Knight. So, Rage is actually kind of not amazing into them. So, I would suggest if you do struggle with the Yubel matchup, you might want to consider playing something along the lines of, like, Cosmic Cyclone, something that's just non-banishing removal. Like Evenly Matched is pretty good against that deck. Yeah, Rage is pretty good, but you can put it in your sideboard. And now onto the extra deck. Triple Bale Links. There are a list that played it too. I get why they played it too, but personally I've run into issues where I've needed to make 2 as a part of a combo to ensure that my field survived and was able to build up to what I needed it to be, and then not having the third one kind of just like really messed up that turn after. On summon, searches Sanctuary and protects your whole field from being destroyed by battle or card effects once, which is like fantastic coverage. Yeah, this card is fantastic. And on to Triple Sunlight Wolf. I've seen lists play too. I really don't get it.
How do you play 2 Sunlight Wolf?
Because you choose to play 2 Sunlight Wolf and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. I get it. I'm not doing it.
But you understand.
I do understand. I do understand. This format is rough. Recurring Fire Monsters is great. Recurring Salad back row is really great. And through your combo with this deck, you're going to use the Code of Soul reincarnation to reincarnate this, so you can use the field spell for the Raging Phoenix. Being able to bring back the Spell or Trap from that allows you to have a 1-card combo that ends on Raging Phoenix and Pyro Phoenix. With like 7 or 8 cards in your hand. Two Raging Phoenix and 2 Pyro Phoenix. Raging Phoenix is great if it's reincarnated, search a salad card, and then if a fire monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, target it, revive Phoenix, and it will gain attack once equal to the targets. Pyro Phoenix is in here mainly for Code of Soul, but this card is okay on its own. 2 or more fire effect monsters. If it's reincarnated, you destroy all cards your opponent controls. Note that that effect is not once per turn. You can target a link in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to their field. Not that great. If a link monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target it, burn him equal to the attack, the original attack. That effect is actually really good. In non-link matchups, you can proc Pyro Phoenix's burn effect with Weasel by targeting, like, let's say a Raging Phoenix, you burn him for 28, that might be able to win a game. And Pyro Phoenix's arrows are actually really notable because either in the main or in the extra monster zone, you can use Jack Jaguar, which is the one benefit to having Pyro Phoenix, because the problem with Raging Phoenix is when it floats and becomes huge, it's stuck in your main monster zone, and none of its arrows can point to any zone aside from the EMZ. And sometimes the best way to start your combo is with Jack Jaguar, because you'll go Jack Jaguar, target a link, spin it, Falco target Jack Jaguar, bounce, discard Jack Jaguar to summon Foxy, proc Gazelle, pitch Spinny, summon Spinny. There's your 4 link materials for another Phoenix, which can help you set up past reincarnation plays. So Pyro Phoenix is notable for that. And yeah, this card can burn your opponent to win a game. Yeah, that's about it. And then Promethean Princess. This card's fantastic.
Do you like just the one?
I wish I could play 2, but space doesn't let me.
Okay.
Promethean Princess is fantastic. Revives any fire monster. You can revive really good ones like Coat of Soul to get more reincarnations if you haven't used its effect. Flame Buffalo to get discards and draws. Of Fire, Salamangreat of Fire, or Salamangreat Gazelle to get card advantage. You can revive Falco in order to get its reset to bring back your traps, or maybe a card like Will in order to get more revives to keep playing. This card works in tandem with Weasel. So this says if a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's field, so Weasel will be able to proc it, and then you can res Promethean Princess by targeting one of your Link monsters, and then protecting it with Bale Links. And since Promethean Princess doesn't need to destroy both monsters, you'll get rid of their monster and have yours, and have 3 extra worth Link material. So if you end on Raging Phoenix and you have just another body on your field, this and the other body can make Pyro Phoenix. So if you have Coat of Soul in your graveyard, you can get a full field nuke during your opponent's turn.
So good.
Yeah. In addition to just threatening this card on your opponent's turn, it's really good with Raging Phoenix. It basically just gives you a full Link climb and turns Gazelle into a 1-card combo that sets up your Link 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And since that combo can also just be done by Lady Debug.
I'm just built different.
Since the combo can also just be done by Lady Debug as well, and then not lock you, you can do other stuff with your monsters as well. Cyber's Wicked and SP Little Knight. Cyber's Wicked is fantastic. It takes 2 Cyber's monsters, and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and the Cyber's monsters it points to can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. And if a monster is special summoned to a zone it points to, you can banish a Cyber's from your grave to search a Cyber's tuner. Cyber's Wicked is in here because basically it gives you a Promethean free line. Since none of your monsters can be destroyed, in order for your opponent to have the Promethean Princess come back from their graveyard, they have to nuke their field. And since it protects the monsters underneath it as well, it essentially allows you to just go into a free salad combo that can't be interacted with by destroying cards. And its arrows are great, and it can help you also make a card like Decode Talk or Heat Soul with a monster that's summoned to a zone it points to. Since you're gonna go, since you can summon Gazelle to the zone that it points to, you can banish something like Lady Debug or another fire monster. You do have charge, so you can bring back your banished fire monsters in order to search out a Cyber's tuner. That Cyber's tuner is Weasel, and Weasel leads straight into Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince. On Synchro Summon, you can spec a level 3 fire from your deck. The level 3s in the deck are Ash Blossom. You can either bounce it with Mirage Dahlia or add it back to your hand later on in the combo with Sunlight Wolf. You can summon Flame Buffalo, get discard, and then draw 2, set up your graveyard, and get further card advantage. You can summon Gazelle, which can get a straight Foolish. You can summon Foxy, which can help you unbrick a card in your hand. Let's say you have Jack Jaguar or Falco just rotting in your hand because you opened it with Lady Debug. Just get that out of here and convert it into another extra material. You can also get Coat of Soul in order to get the extra reincarnation and set up the Pyro Phoenix plays that way. And yeah, Horse Prince is fantastic. I really do like this card. SP Little Knight is really, really nice. It's in here for when you can perform a good combo, but you don't have enough gas to fully go into it. Or let's say your Mirage Stallion gets negated, so now you're no longer locked into just fire effect monsters, and you didn't get access to Salamangreat of Fire, so you're not locked into fires. Having SP Little Knight on your end board is really, really, really good. And the banishing removal is fantastic, and the interaction is really nice. Another thing that I've also liked to note is that Salad can play against SP just fine. All you have to do is normal summon Jack Jaguar and just attack into SP, hit them for 200, and then boom, main phase, start playing. So always keep that in mind. You can also do the same thing with Debug, just don't activate its effect because it has 1700 attack.
Fair enough.
And then the final card of the extra deck, Mirage Stallion. There are some combos in here that require it. There are some that don't. Mirage Stallion is really, really nice for the combos that require it, and for the combos that don't, it kind of is a hindrance. because it can lock out cards like SP Little Knight and Cyber's Wicked if you make it too early. But if you make it just in time, this card will literally save you. And the bouncing removal is actually really good because that takes care of a lot of stuff. It takes care of a majority of the extra deck monsters that are a huge problem to you. Like Fiendsmith's Desiree, get that out of there. Mirror Jade, all the Unchained Link monsters, Fire Kings, all that stuff. Just Promethean Princess, put that back in the extra deck. Raging Phoenix, get that back in the extra deck. All the other problems that exist, I can't name them right now, but you can also use Mirage Stallion to bounce your own monsters. You can just like summon Salamangreat of Fire from your deck and then search Weasel that way. And then when you use Mirage Stallion to make Sunlight Wolf with your Balinks, you can bounce your Salamangreat of Fire for next turn play in order to search out Gazelle and start playing from there. And that's why I'm so adamant about playing triple Balinks, is because in your first turn combo, if you open of Fire as your only starter and you don't have like Gazelle immediately and you need to use Up Fire, locking yourself can actually do you a huge benefit, because yeah, it's unfortunate that you're not going to be able to summon as many monsters as you would like, but having good ones like Mirage Stallion is always nice. So I would say play this in almost every Salad build. The only build I wouldn't play this in is something where you can't proactively make this constantly. And now onto the sideboard. It's going to be kind of scuffed, unfortunately. Triple DD Crow. I think this card is fantastic this format. Being able to hit Hollowed Azamina or Azamina monsters out of the graveyard, Fiendsmith cards out of the graveyard, Fire Kings, Branded, lab cards like Transaction Rollback targets. Merlantians, you can like mess up their one combo. Since they have to summon the 3 level 3s, you can just banish one of them and it just like takes out that effect almost entirely. This also just takes out all rogue decks and just is really good. I prefer to play this over Druis Worm because of specific cards in my sideboard, but I've been considering playing Druis Worm as well. If you want to play Druis Worm, that's perfectly fine, but I like Crow better because it can hit any card. Like, Sky Striker is making a comeback, and Crow's really good against Striker. It just has a lot of application for a lot of decks, and I think it's like one of the mandatory sideboard cards in this format. Now, not one of the mandatory side cards in this format is Nibiru, the Primal Being. The reason I'm playing this at 2, I don't want to open it, but if I do open it, I want to know that I'll never draw it again. It's mainly in here for Crossout Designator, because, like, there are times in games 1 and 2, like, let's say you're going first, people aren't main decking this card as often because of the Azamina stuff, but they are siding it. So what you have to do is you have to prepare for when your opponent is going to say, no, you can go first in game 2, and then you're, like, completely, like, gobsmacked as to why they would let you do that, because you already beat them game 1 when you went first. But yeah, Nibiru at 2, I would want to play it at 3, but unfortunately I had to make some concessions in my sideboard. But it's good for the crossout package anyways. You need to play around this card. Triple Ghost Ogre. This card is like really, really nice against deceptions with simple spoils. It also can take care of some combo boards as well. Merlantian can get hit by Ghost Ogre. If you hit them at the right time, it can screw them out of a boss monster, an extender, or the ability to get to something. It can also just be able to get rid of a card like Fire King Island, which just takes care of that matchup. You can Ghost Ogre Snake Eye Ash, and it will force them to go down a really, really awkward line where they'd have to like normal summon Ash effect, Chain Ogre, sure, search Poplar, summon Poplar, get original pitch Poplar in order to get to Oak in order to revive, and that just takes away their entire ability to like do the grind game in the middle of their combo.
Comboed with another hand trap? Ooh, they ain't doing that.
Yeah, comboed with another hand trap, Ghost Ogre is going to be fantastic, but taking care of Deception is like the entire point why it's in here. Because I just can't stand the Azamina cards.
It's pretty good versus Tenpai too.
And Tenpai. Well, Tenpai's field spell is limited, so like I'm already going to be doing well against Tenpai, but yeah, it's good against them too. Triple Tactics, Thrust, and then Lightning Storm and Duster.
How do you like these guys?
I like Thrust. I wish I was playing D-Barrier.
35, 25. And this is
I like Lightning Storm. Sometimes. I like Duster. Sometimes. I might replace them with Evenly and Dimensional Barrier because I have come to the conclusion that as much as these cards would help against back row decks, unfortunately, we're kind of in a scenario where you get Mulcharmied and you either have to set up a play that your opponent actually can't play against, or you just have to like end your turn, and these cards aren't going to help. I would say play Evenly because sometimes you need to thrust into a board breaker, and play Dimensional Barrier because you need to thrust into a card that says no to your opponent.
Versus Tenpai specifically.
Yes, Tenpai exclusively. And then the last two cards, two Final Bringer of the End Times. I like this card a lot. Being able to nuke your own monsters in order to get rid of any card sounds like way better than Cosmic Cyclone, because sometimes your problems don't lie in the back row. Sometimes they just lie in the monsters on your opponent's field. I mean, destruction removal. Sometimes it's not that great, but this card's really good. And being able to like dodge Imperm and dodge Valor is always always really nice. And it's the same thing as Forbidden Droplet, except it's like actual removal instead of negation. And yeah, I've been liking this card a lot.
Those were the last two cards in the side deck?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, I hope everybody looks forward to Kyle uploading more content in the future. We'll definitely come back and get him down for a combo video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll get combo videos.
Yeah, for sure. And then, tier list coming and all that fun stuff. I'm going to help out Kyle so you guys are supplied with your Salamangreat content, because I feel like the deck's one of the best on Snake Eye decks essentially right now, which you can even run Snake Eye in it, which is the cool part about it.
Yeah, you can play Snake Eye Salad.
You won't recommend it?
With no Baron and no Apollosa and Ash at 1 and Poplar at 1, probably not.
Alright. Well, with that being said, we'll be seeing you guys next time. Please leave a like for Kyle, and please subscribe for more great Salamangreat content. Seeing you guys out.
Thanks for watching.